Hey everybody, Jeremy here. So today I'm going to be reviewing this McFarlane Toys Cygor figure. This is a big figure. He's a mega fig. He's huge, as you can see here. It has 22 points of articulation, and I got him from Target for $49.99. So it's not a cheap figure, but man, does he look cool. This is from the Spawn series. This is a character who was transformed into this giant cybernetic gorilla. But before that, at one point, he was a good friend of Al Simmons. So you can always read up more upon that if you want to see more of the backstory and learn more about this character. But we want to see how the figure is. So I'm going to cut open this tape and we're going to get a good close look at this guy, this ape, gorilla. I love it when McFarlane does these big figs because it really gives them an opportunity to show some nice detail in a larger form. And it's just always awesome to have these guys sitting on our shelf. And this Cygor here is very well detailed. I mean, just take a look. The face is going to be the first thing that kind of draws your eye in. And it's just a very aggressive stance, you know, typical of what you would expect from an angry gorilla. But we also have this really nice crimson blood coming down from the right side of the face. We got those teeth that are not pearly whites. No. But those are some really nicely painted teeth. Got that tongue, mouth wide open. It's just really, really nice face sculpt on this guy. And then when you move him over to the side, you kind of see that half robotic side to contrast with the gorilla side. And it's the same kind of paint scheme from the side of the face and all the additional armor that's all around him. We have that silver with a lot of black brushing on it and some really nice crafted detail as well, as you can see all over the armor, all on the back. You know, you can just look and see the rivets and the various screws and openings and exhausts or whatever. And it's just really, really nicely done. Good contrast over here for the left arm. We got that gold colored cabling coming down there. So I really do like that. And just more of that nicely crafted detail all the way down the arm, which is really, really nice. And what I also like is that the left arm is not the same as the right arm. So you can see the right arm, we got some blue cabling here, and just all the little mechanical works are different than it is on the left arm. So, you know, that just shows the amount of effort that goes into making a figure like this when you have to have different sculptings for different sides of the body, as opposed to just having one and just copying it over to the other side. So I really do like that. And it also kind of goes along with, you know, McFarlane making different molds for certain characters, even though it's going to be more expensive to do so. And in the end, it just produces a better quality product. Now, I got him down on all fours, as you would do with a gorilla, but let's kind of just take a look at some articulation. All right, so just move the camera back so that we can look at this articulation a little bit better. So you can get him to stand up on his own 2 feet and kind of like that, "Grr, I'm a super angry gorilla monster" kind of a stance. But the crazy thing is that when you do that, if we turn him over on the back, there's like this big gap right here at the waist. And you can, well, you can see it really good if you take and kind of like move him back like this, like if you're trying to arch his back. You know, it looks like he's wearing like some type of gorilla trousers, gorilla underwear. So this part is flexible, which helps with the articulation. But when you push it to the extreme like this, you do see like that big gap, and it is a big gap right there. And it stands out. It stands out quite a lot. So depending on if you want to have him straight up like this, or if you just kind of bend him over, that's where the crack in his, that's where the crack is going to show, is what I'm trying to say. So if you don't want that to show, you're going to have to find a middle ground, which is why I had him down, knuckles down, because I think that does a good job of hiding that really big gap there at the waist. So as far as his head goes, head articulation up is going to be blocked to a certain extent just by this this armor piece right here, but you do still have some decent motion before you run into that. And then you can look down about that much. It's very smooth, as is turning his head left and turning his head right. So I like how smooth it is. Smooth without being loose is always very, very nice. You can bend the elbow, although it's kind of tough, you know, and you kind of have to make sure that you got it lined up properly so that you can bend the elbow. You can't bend it a whole lot, as you just saw. So this is like as much as you can bend it on this side. And if I can just, you know, you can see that's about how much you can do it. So you can do it, but it's not a whole lot. All right. So you also got some articulation right there in the fist. You can also hinge that up, and you can also hinge that down. I'm sure some of these joints can be loosened up pretty decent way if you just apply some heat. And then over at the knees, you can rotate it up and down. Short legs, you know, so you can move those up and down. And then you also have some rotation at the feet, a little bit of rotation at the feet, not a whole lot. You know, I'm not sure if you can even see that. And then there's also a little bit of a hinge as well on the feet. Little bit of a hinge, not too much. But since it's so short and kind of stubby down here, I don't imagine that you'll be doing too much with the legs as far as articulation goes. It's very much a top heavy figure, just as far as, you know, just being top heavy, and just this is where the action is. You know, the feet are there just so you can have feet, but you know, the bulk of what you want is all right here, baby, all right here. But this figure, you know, he has articulation in line of what I would really expect for big figures such as this. And even though he does come with a stand, I do think that you really don't need it, especially if you want to do this, you don't need it. He's plenty stable with his fist on the ground. You probably would need the stand if you wanted him to kind of just stand up more, kind of like this. But like I said, if you do it too much, then you expose the gap in the back, and that's kind of unsightly to me. But hey, as a gorilla, I kind of want him to be fist down, you know, that's just me. But I think that this is a very nice figure, especially if you can find them for a good price. I know they're kind of expensive, around like 50 bucks, you know, but that's how much these big figs from McFarlane costs. But at least I can see where the extra money goes into. You know, if this figure was just kind of plain and none of the silver was painted and the face was just kind of there, then I wouldn't be for it. This is not like the Cygor that you might have saw as part of that, forgot what it was called, but they sold them in Walmart. There was this Cygor figure, then there was like this snake, and you might remember those. And those were cheaper, but they were not on this collector quality scale that this figure is. So this one is better than that one from a collector's standpoint. So yeah, before we wrap this up, let me grab a Spawn, put them next to him so that you can see the size comparison. So let's move Spawn in here. So you see, that is a size comparison between Cygor and Spawn. And just because I also had him available, here is Violator. Let's move Spawn over a little bit more so that you can see Violator and his size compared to Cygor. Violator is bigger, so if you have a Violator, just know that this Cygor is going to be smaller, not by a whole lot, but this Violator has a lot more going on, you know, with the width and the spikes and all that stuff, you know, but these are still big, chunky, meaty figures, and I do like it. So yeah, guys, there you go. It's a Cygor from McFarlane Toys, part of the Spawn line. Pick them up at Target. That's where I found them. It's going to cost you around 50 bucks. I think it's a good figure. You might get lucky with a sale. If you can find them on sale, just keep your eye open. I think that'll be the best opportunity that you have to grab this guy. So thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Jeremy. Talk to you later.